Hey guys, it's Christina with Southern Roots Supplies, and today I'm going to show you how to do a Lazy Susan. So I have three 30 ml cups of epoxy going on here. I am just stirring them up real fast. And I have two different colors of mica. I have On Cloud Wine and Watermelon Crawl from southernrootssupplies.com. And I'm using Faux Resin epoxy, and we're going to be using a blow dryer, and also some white Ranger Tim Holtz alcohol ink. Alrighty, so I've got one of these mixed. I'm just going to grab an extra cup, and I'm going to pour maybe a third of it in there. So I have a third of that cup in there and the rest of it in the other. And that is, I'm just separating it for my colors. So then, I'm just stirring up my other ones real fast. And I'm going to show you some cool stuff. And this will be a two-part video, just so that you're aware. Once this is all cured, I'm going to go back in and do some gold leafing, which will be pretty cool. Alrighty, so this one's all mixed up. Let me mix this last one and we will get started. I'm here, I promise. I know it's kind of weird whenever you do all of this, but the epoxy's not done before the video starts. But with this kind of stuff, you need really the longest working time possible to make it work out for you. So that's why I'm mixing it on camera and not having it prepared beforehand. I am going to do a clock mold to match this beautiful thing. That way the person that gets this has a clock and a turnabout for Lazy Susan. So yeah, okay. I'm not going to do that. All right, so before I get my hand all epoxied, I am going to go ahead and open my micas. And I'm just going to scoop them in. These take very little on the end of a popsicle stick to get their color. You can obviously add more if you want it to be more colored. And I want to add just a little tiny bit more. I want mine to be really opaque. I don't want it to show all that white through it. Okay, so now we have that red done. And then we're gonna do our pink. And I'm gonna do a bigger scoop and a little half scoop, just because there's a lot of epoxy in here, and I really want it to be nice and opaque. All right, so there we are with those two. I am gonna set them off to the side because we're gonna lay our white first. I am gonna wipe this off because I got glitter all over it somehow or another. And now I'm gonna take my Tim Holtz mixative, white mixative, and I'm going to go ahead and squirt some in here. Maybe if it'll let me. I want quite a bit You don't need like a ton because you've already spray painted it white. So you don't have to overpower the white. It doesn't have to be fully opaque. You can do this with spray paint, acrylic paint, or alcohol ink, or mica if you have white mica. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm just going to pour this in the middle. Okay. Get rid of those. And then I'm just going to start to rub this around. I want it to go all the way to my edges. Cool thing with these turnabouts is you can just spin them around to get everything going where you want. I might have made too much epoxy because this might, 30 mils might be enough to just lay it over the top, which is all I'm trying to do. You don't want it too thick, otherwise you're gonna have a lot of issues because it's gonna squirt off the side, and you don't want that. But that's okay, because I can throw some of that in a mold if I mixed too much. And I know I did. It's a good thing I didn't color it yet, right? Because then I can use whatever color I want for my mold. Oh, no, 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 no. If it starts to bleed off the side, you need to clean it up. You don't want it bleeding off the side because it'll start just draining off the side. You can tape your sides. I didn't. I should have, but I didn't. I got this turnabout on Amazon for $10, but you can get them from lots and lots of different places. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of pull my glove off and I'm just gonna clean up my edges just a little bit. Wherever they're dripping off, I'm gonna just clean them up. It's not too big of a deal. You know, you can sand it off later, and I'm gonna be gold foiling the sides, but I don't want too much draining off. All right, so there's that. I'm gonna take off my glove, and we're gonna start with our pink. And I'm just going to create like this vein down the center. That's kind of the look I'm going for. This big vein down the center. It doesn't have to be perfect. I do want it to be kind of chunky though. And I mixed a lot of epoxy for just this. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna blow it on cool, on low, and I'm just gonna move it around just a little bit. Let me turn it on hot though. So I'm gonna pop my bubbles real fast. I have lots of bubbles. And a bug. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my heat off, turn this on, and I'm just gonna move this around. I have to turn it on high. Okay, so now that I have that done, I'm gonna grab my red, and I'm just gonna add some veining throughout here just to give it some depth. And we'll go back in. And again, we're gonna just blend it out. Alright, so I have that little flub up right there, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a baby wipe, and I'm just going to get it off. So that I don't have that flub up right there. There we go. And then you can just take a clean popsicle stick and move some of your white right back over in that spot. You can even take some of the drippies off the side because I've knocked a lot of it off. And you can just pull it right off. All right, and then we'll go back in with our heat gun and make sure that it's flat. I'll put a little heat on it. I'm getting crap all in my white. Okay, and it is self-leveling epoxy, so obviously it's gonna settle at some point, but I'm just trying to get a few pieces out that I see that are crazy-fied and glitter. All right. Get a giant bubble right there. I'm gonna pop it. All right, so this is what it looks like so far. I really like the way that it looks. I love the way that it's doing. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go around the rim with a baby wipe. Ugh, gross, I just got it all over my hand. And just kind of clean up the edges just a little bit. We're gonna cover the edges anyway, so it doesn't really matter a lot, but I don't want a ton of drip. And I had a ton of drip on some of it, especially at the ends of the pink section. So, then I will be adding some gold leaf and different stuff on it as well. at some point. So once it's all dried up, we'll be doing that part. But I do see a few spots that I really want to get some heat on them. Just to pop any bubbles. That's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to blow it around. I'm not trying to move my design, just popping bubbles. That's all I'm doing. Just to get that glassy finish. Trying to make all of this settle out for me a little bit. Like, I know this is bad. They're not settling for me, so, and I don't have another glove, but I'll get it right off my finger as soon as I'm done. Pop any more bubbles that you created. All right, and then you just leave it be. We're gonna let it set until we are ready to move to the next step. So I will be back with that step.